End of day 5 here. We've got a perfect demonstration of how the bib liners work. So I didn't have enough foam to bib this middle section of the waterfall here. So all the water is just going down there and disappearing down into the basin. But all you got to do is close that up with some foam, and all that water is going to carry over. And believe it or not, it's going to be a huge waterfall coming over this rock here, because that's about 8,000 gallons per hour, but it's all going straight down into the ground because it can't carry from one end to the next without sealing up those edges, because it's in about 8 inches of gravel underneath this liner here. So underneath this little bib liner is nothing but gravel. So this is what it would look like if it was only a 2-foot stream. I really like how that wood turned out, but man, this is going to be the waterfall I want to see running here, where it goes over this stick with all the arms. That's going to be cool. So coming soon.
Be more than happy to help you.
This water feature, apart from the rest, is all of this native wood that's weathered and has so much texture to it. A cool element of this water feature is some petrified wood that was actually the homeowner's mother's landscaping material at one point in time, and she said it has a sentimental value. So I put it right underneath the path light and right at the tip of this big log, so your eye just naturally goes to it. So it's a little nod to the homeowner's mother. And actually, all of these odd colored rocks were at the bottom of the old water feature. The pump is underneath that pile of river rock right there. And we've got two 4,500 gallon per hour pumps on this. My favorite and the homeowner's favorite drop in the waterfall is this one right here. And it's coming through 2 field goal posts on the wood. So we've got that waterfall. I call that 1, 2. That's a third drop, but you could really call that a waterfall, and that one. I mean, so you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different drop points just in less than a foot of elevation. And then we've got that one over there, that one right there, and that one right there. That one's coming over the stump, and that one's going around it. So there's actually a root sticking off that is creating that waterfall. And then the one on the left is just going around, following it, and making a dog leg. And then that one over there is kicking around kind of a loop as well. That stick right there was in the old water feature as well. I just set it in there just kind of as a... I just think it's really cool. You take these little tiny elements from the old water feature and incorporate it into the new. I mean, this is so different. Before, it was just a big, giant, useless bowl of water, a concrete bowl of water. And, you know, the homeowner was somewhat worried about people falling in, hitting their head, drowning in it. You know, yeah, you could still drown in this. They say you can drown in 2 inches of water, but unless you get knocked unconscious with your face and your nose directly in 1 inch of water, nobody's going to drown in this. And it's on a timer, so it shuts off, and the whole thing just is completely dry. You just gravel and looks like a creek bed. What's cool about this is that I've got this stormy cloud boulder right there mixed in with a granite type of a boulder. You know, I've maybe this is something It's not really surface select because it doesn't have that rough edge, but it's kind of like a, you know, rough granite. But it's not available in any rock yards that I know of. I've never seen this type of a rock. I mean, sometimes you go in there and mixed in with the surface select are rocks that can look similar to this, like this one. That was the first one set. And then this one, just look at that. Look at how they match up right there. So that was 1, 2. And then I set that one right there. And that one was the first one that I said, okay, this is a waterfall rock. So the reason I knew it was a waterfall rock is because it has its own framer right there. So there's the weir, and then there's the frame. And then that's cool. That kind of reminds me of a lot of the waterfalls at like Sedona. How that water just sheets off really fast, really flat. You see that a lot at like Slide Rock. And then this rock right here, this weir stone, kind of hard to see it because the water's all brown from the tannins, because we had it running over the weekend when we only had this section bibbed, and that was just draining. But that rock is like pink, and it's very unique. It's like it's got a patina, a skin on the outside that's kind of worn away, and then underneath the rock is like a marbly pink. So that's kind of a cool rock. But the point I was getting at when I started bringing up the two different types of rock is they really blend very well together. Up at the top, you can see that white vein. That's the Stormy Cloud boulder that I got from Apache Stone near my house in North Phoenix. And then those two rocks right there are from the original feature. Now this big dog right here, this huge boulder that we have on the side, that was actually in the waterfall before, and it was like this. It was rolled a little bit and it was tucked in. So that boulder, we had a hard time moving it. We had a hard time moving a lot of these boulders. I mean, that boulder right there is probably like 500 pounds. That boulder right there is probably 500 pounds. And we just rolled them. That one we put in a cradle. But that one, we just, literally, it was right there like that. And we just rolled it, and then moved it the way we want. And it's actually all broken up right underneath that corner because I was using a jackhammer, using a saw, using a drill, putting holes in it, but covered it with this boulder here and some gravel. It's just the corner that's broken off, just the corner. But now what's cool about it is you can actually appreciate the size of that boulder. When before it was buried in other rocks, you couldn't see it. So now you can actually see, wow, that's a big rock. You know, and another huge element of a good looking waterfall is just the size, the proportion. If they're all the same size rock, it's not gonna look good. It's gonna look strange. So that's why I like that we've got smaller rocks like this guy and this little guy right here in the corner and this guy here compared to a big one. If you put two big giant boulders right next to each other, then it doesn't look big. Like, look at the size of this rock next to this rock. This rock wouldn't even look big if it was just right next to that one and then right next to that one. This one's another gargantuan one. So we've got 4 path lights up on the top. Hopefully these will work. I have 4 of them as spares in case they go bad and they need to be replaced, but I got them on Amazon. Pretty cheap. They look great. And I've tested them. They light up really nice. So hopefully they look really nice. I mean, I really like the black as opposed to the brown or the tan. So this is our new retaining wall. The other pond, you know, didn't have nearly the retaining wall that we've got now, and it doesn't even look bad. but only the golfers are going to see this side. But I like how the rocks are just all lined up very well. And the cool thing about these rocks is that they were all very skinny, so it maximized my my water feature space. And they are, oh, these rocks are heavy. They are locked in there. They're locked in there together. They're buried down a little bit. That one's a huge one. Yeah, this one was really hard to set, but it was hard to see it at first when it was nothing but open dirt. That boulder was kind of hovering in the back. Didn't know what was going on with it, but it was all up in my mind. And now this is what we got. One last close-up. We gotta get this guy here. Okay.